Not many people are crazy about frogs. Some of us had to dissect them as part of a lab experiment in school, while others found homes for their pet frogs in shoeboxes. However, beyond those regular species, there are actually the most exotic kinds scattered all around the world. You may not have seen a good number of them because they are really rare. From frogs so big that they had to be named Goliath to the extremely toxic ones that you would have to keep your distance from. Here are some of the world's rarest frogs. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. And now, let's get right to it. Black rain frog. This darkish brown frog has a really coarse texture on its flattened body, thanks to a lot of bumps all around. However, away from the bumps, you would notice something interesting about its facial expressions. The black rain frog is basically the amphibian version of the grumpy cat. If you can picture the look on the face of a grumpy cat, then you have pretty much seen something close enough to the face of the black rain frog. Of course, this frog also has a strange defense mechanism that comes in handy against predators. While trying to avoid capture, the amphibious swells into an inflated pouch, despite being as small as 2 inches. It also puts its short, stubby legs to good use when burrowing holes. This species of frog also has a great amount of survival instinct towards its offspring, as the male black rain frog keeps fertilized eggs protected with a viscous substance until they hatch. Golden poison dart frog. One major feature of the golden poison dart frog is its color, which could be mint green, deep orange, or yellow. If you look hard enough, you can find this rare frog relaxing in the Colombian lowlands, mostly hidden among the rocky formations. They're actually quite small, at just 2 inches long, but you would have to be super careful if you ever want to get close to these frogs. The poison dart in their name is no exaggeration, as they have acid for blood, and this keeps the predators away. During the mating season, the male and female golden poison dart frogs search for a conveniently damp area that helps fertilization. After observing the tadpoles for a while, the male transfers them to an area with a better water source, where they are able to grow into froglets. All this while, the pores of their skin house a dangerous fluid that has made this species known as the most toxic amphibian in the world. While it doesn't hurt them in any way, contact with this poison could do some permanent damage to your skin. Harlequin toads. Another rare frog that also qualifies as an endangered species is the harlequin toad, also known as the telepathy frog. From the speckled pattern of colors on its skin, you can tell that they are incredibly toxic, and it's a warning to predators to stay away. These frogs are usually found in the Costa Rican and Panama areas. However, year after year, the harlequin toads reduce in numbers and are currently limited to a localized region in Costa Rica. Since they love low elevations, you can mostly find these frogs close to streams with the occasional trip into the water to breed. Thankfully, their coloration saves them from the troubles that come with being really low on the food chain. But that hasn't stopped them from shrinking in population, largely due to how humans treat the environment. From global warming and fungal outbreaks to fluctuating temperatures and pollution, these are some of the major culprits making the harlequin toads a rare species of frog. Desert rain frog. When you see a frog, you would expect it to make the usual croaking sound, right? Well, that won't happen all the time. If you're lucky enough, you'll get to meet the rare desert rain frog that squeaks instead. Usually, the desert rain frog lives in the coastal waters of Namibia and South Africa. Those squeaks are their methods of keeping intruders away from their natural habitat. So, how would you identify the desert rain frog? Apart from being just 2.5 inches in length, these rare frogs have a pair of short, nubby legs, brown metallic eyes, and speckled gray skin. The legs come in handy when they want to dig sandy trenches in their habitat. Although most frogs extend their tongue for water, it's quite different for the desert rain frog. They have a transparent membrane on their underbelly that absorbs water and helps them stay hydrated. So, the most likely place to go is the shoreline of the Atlantic Ocean, where they settle into their holes and get enough humidity from the sea fog. This species of frogs are actually harmless, except you may consider their squeaks disturbing. They also have the ability to blend easily with their surroundings using camouflage. Hairy frog. Would you actually prefer your pets to have hair or without hair? We're guessing your answer would be with hair if we're talking about dogs or cats. But have you ever seen a hairy frog? Say hello go to the hairy frog, which is the perfect name for this frog with hair-like bristles running through the surface of its entire body. Interestingly, this frog has other names. So if you were to hear anyone referring to the horror frog or Wolverine frog, it's still the hairy frog they are talking about. However, these hairs are more than just aesthetic choices. They are great for feeding oxygen into the blood of the hairy frog. But there's even something more fascinating about this species of frogs. When they need to go into defense mode, the hairy frog can break its bones, and the bone exits through its skin. Combined with formidable claws on its hind legs, this is quite a sight. So, anytime they feel threatened, these frogs just contract their muscles enough to unlatch bones. Talk about a weird defense mechanism. These bones can deliver a painful puncture wound to anyone that handles them. Sadly, these are not retractable, but they are really resilient, so this traumatic injury is the end of their life and is only used as the last line of defense. Purple frog. Here's another strange-looking species of frogs, commonly known as the purple frog. So where do they live? Well, you would have to check out a mountain range in India known as the Western Ghats. What's even stranger about this frog is that it doesn't look anything like your typical amphibian. It looks like a big blob with its short hind legs, protruding eyes, and pointed snout that would give you the impression that this is some sort of genetic mutation. These are super rare. You would find less than 150 of them in existence. At just 7 centimeters, the purple frog loves to spend its time in its burrow and only comes out when it's time for mating. Then it will head over to streams, rivers, and ponds to make a home. The purple frog definitely doesn't look like your average hairless pet. Venezuela pebble frog. Cheers to one more unique frog simply known as the Venezuela pebble frog. The first thing you would notice is its silver body, which absolutely glitters in the sunlight. It is filled with nodules, which means that all you would feel is a grainy texture if you were to touch this rare frog. Apart from being rough to touch, this texture is perfect as a camouflage since it's able to blend easily with its natural environment. But this is not the only defense mechanism of the Venezuela pebble frog. When this frog senses any form of danger, it actually takes the form of a pebble. Let's explain better. Say a hungry tarantula is about to attack the Venezuela pebble frog. What it does is to tuck its arms and legs underneath its body. This gives it a perfect ball position, and then the frog catapults itself towards the predator. As it rolls down the mountain, the tarantula would immediately dive for cover and then head somewhere else to find its meal while the pebble frog is completely unharmed. Guess all's well that ends well. Brazilian horned frog. No doubt about it, big things come in little packages, and the Brazilian horned frog is one of them. Despite its small size, this frog is actually pretty aggressive. Found in the Amazon rainforests in South America, it's always best to head out into the rainforest with boots on. Or you could get bitten. Yes, bitten. The Brazilian horned frog has razor-sharp teeth that come in handy when they feel like they're in danger. Sometimes they don't even have to feel that way to get to work on your ankles, and it's super painful. Despite how much they can cause a great deal of pain, they are pets in several households in the United States. Yes, they are rare, but many people have been able to get their hands on the few that are in existence. Still, before you consider bringing one into your house, you should be sure that you can handle the Brazilian horned frog with care. You really don't want to be on the receiving end of those razor-sharp teeth. Goliath frog. Just as the name suggests, we're about to talk about a massive frog, aptly named the Goliath frog. This species is found in Africa, distributed among Guinea and southwestern Cameroon. The craziest thing about this rare frog is that it weighs a whopping 7 pounds and is also about 13 inches long. Apart from this massive weight for a frog, evolution was kind enough to this frog to give it extraordinary strength. So, the Goliath frog puts it to good use by digging holes around natural beds of water to construct nests for its brood. You would be impressed by its architectural skills. This animal uses various leaves and stones to fortify its riverbed structures. In fact, some males have really powerful hind legs that help them lift stones that are more than half of their body weight. The Goliath frog is big enough to get you saying wow, and that's if you're lucky enough to sight this rare frog. And there you have it. These are some of the world's rarest frogs. Which one is your favorite on this list? And are there others that you think should have made our list? Let us know in the comments. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching.